All right, so the Flyers pick up a 2-1 win in a game where they played extremely better. They got the message from Alain Vigneault from the last game against San Jose, and they play better overall, and they get the win 2-1 over the Ducks in overtime. Kevin Hayes with the game-winning goal. Couturier got the other one for the Flyers. So going into the game itself, this looked like it was going to be just like last night as I was watching this, because the Ducks scored 35 seconds in. Branson from the point. Kind of looked like a knuckleballer, or it got deflected. It looked like it went right by Elliott. And after that, Elliott was phenomenal in this one for the Flyers. This was really a goaltending battle from both goalies. Gibson was really good for the Ducks. Elliott, as I said, he was phenomenal. So later in the first period, Couturier, he got one back for the Flyers. And the overall shots in this period were 8-6, 5-on-5 for the Flyers. I believe they were 10-8 in the game itself. So the Flyers had a couple power play chances as well. And then in the second period, the Flyers really dominated. It took the Ducks to around the 12-minute mark just to get their first shot of the period, and the Flyers outshot them 9-1 in that period. And then that really started to dwindle down in the third. The Ducks really came on in that period. They started to get more chances. The Flyers were just trying to hold on. Every time they got the puck, they were just trying to get the red line and get it deep, and then they would change. So they were just really trying to hold on, get that point, and Elliott was really making some key saves late. The Ducks, they did have a 5-on-3 in the third period, and that was really, really scary because Vorobyev took a tripping penalty, and I was like, all right, because that was his second penalty of the game. Then Niskanen took a board, which he didn't mean to do. He was apologetic about it, and they had a 5-on-3 for a pretty decent time, and the Flyers really were breaking down everything. The Ducks were very hesitant to shoot the puck, and then whenever they did, it either got blocked or it went wide, or Elliott just made the save. And they were able to kill that off. And then the Ducks were still coming on after that, but then the period finally ended. Now, the overtime, it continued to be more Flyers. It was like the Flyers had majority of puck possession, which we have seen for a lot of the overtimes. At least that's from what I've seen. They've had majority of possession, but they just haven't really been able to score, and it's went to a shootout. Going into the overtime, the Flyers were 2-0, and the Ducks were 1-3. So the Flyers are 3-0 now in games decided in overtime, and the Ducks are 1-4. And you know, the Ducks, I don't even believe they had a shot in the whole overtime. They might have had maybe one or two, and maybe like close to like the last minute and a half of overtime. And Hampus Lindholm had a wide open slap shot. Elliott made the save, and then Voracek picked it up, and I don't even understand how this even got through, but he fired it all the way up to Hayes as the Ducks were in the middle of a change. It was like Hayes was right here, and then there was three Ducks just surrounding him like kind of like a triangle. I don't even know how the pass got through. Hayes got it and scored on the nice breakaway move, and the Flyers got the 2-1 win and the extra point in this one. The veterans, I thought they were really good in this game. The line of Giroux, Couturier, and Voracek, that combined for 4 points. Voracek had 2 assists. Couturier had a goal, and Giroux had an assist. Hayes, he looked really good. He had the game-winning goal. He also had 5 shots on goal. He was all over it. I thought Aube-Kubel had a really nice game. I thought he was pretty good in like the first maybe like 3-4 minutes of San Jose. He had a couple chances, and then the team just dwindled down from there. But he has really impressed me since being called up. He's played phenomenal, and not even just getting points, but just in all 3 zones. He's really impressed me with his play. His hockey IQ has just been really good. As I said, Brian Elliott was phenomenal. He had 27 saves. He had a .964 save percentage tonight, and he only gave up the 1 goal early. And he was just really phenomenal after that, really keeping the Flyers in it. I thought Niskanen was really good defensively. He had 3 shots on goal as well. And here's an interesting stat for Voracek. So since November 23rd, Voracek has 16 points. He's got 4 goals, 12 assists. He's plus 10. And that's through 17 games, and the Flyers are 11-5-1 in those games, and that is a tweet from Jordan Hall that I saw after last night's game, and I thought, oh, that's actually a pretty cool stat. I'm going to put that into today's video, and that's just to show that, even though Voracek hasn't been getting, point per game pace, he's still playing good offensively, and I think he's really contributed since he had that little slump in the beginning of the season where him, Van Riemsdyk, and Hayes really weren't doing anything for the Flyers, and they've all started to pick it up since then. Now, as for the team itself, they have the Kings on New Year's Eve. I think if they come into that game and they play like they did tonight against Anaheim, they should be able to pick up 2 points. Now, the goaltending, I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. I thought Elliott played good enough tonight against Anaheim to get the start, and I think if they put Hart in, that might get him some more confidence with a better game, and kind of a not so good of a team with LA might be able to give Hart some confidence to get his road numbers up there, and him start to play better on the road, and just for the team themselves. A road win for them can go a long way, and a win on this road trip can really start to set off some ground for these next few games. As for Voracek, he is now 6th all-time in franchise assists with 370. He passed Lindros and Rick McLeish after last night's game with the 2 assists that he had, and now he is 25 assists behind Mark Recchi, who has 395. I think Voracek might be able to get that by the end of the season. It's going to be close, but he could be able to if he starts to play. If he continues to play like he has in these last few games and this last month or so. My podcast, my articles, those links are on my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.